Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Shrimp Fried Rice podcast. Grab a blankie, grab your favorite stuffed animal, and get comfortable because we getting cozy. I hope you guys are doing well. Yes, I'm doing this podcast from my bed. Yes, I also have a PC that's like not even a foot above my bed. How is that possible, you may ask? Well, there's this thing called a bed desk. So people that have mobility issues and want to have a desk that rolls up and down from the bottom of the foot of their bed to the forward position of their bed so they can sit up, maybe watch TV, read a book, eat, whatever that may be. I mean, you can use possibly a laptop on this thing and it would be sufficient. But not me. I took the impossible and made it possible. I got my whole PC on here on the left part of this desk, 2 monitors, a mic stand, and a stack of books, my keyboard, and a bunch of other stuff. You don't need to have all that stuff, but you know what? My room is literally just small enough to have a queen size bed in it. And the way it's built, it has a lot of weird shaped walls because I'm in a basement and there's a lot of piping going on underneath all these wood panels. So a lot of my walls are weird shapes, you know? So my bed only fits in this direction. I'm literally like 2 to 3 feet max from the door. And I have one like dresser. I got shelves up. And I got shelves behind, in front of the foot of my bed, that has all my knickknacks and stuff. And I have a floor length mirror. I got pumpkins, bowls, and water, scratching post, and a dream. It's a crazy setup. I mean, I never expected it to be this way, but you know what? We're making it. We've been streaming now for almost 3 years, and I know that because I graduated from college with my bachelor's 3 years ago. I just got that notification on Google that's like, oh, check this memory out. And I was like, wow, I can't believe it's been 3 years since I graduated with my bachelor's degree. I can't believe how much debt I'm in because of it. I know I complain all the time about going to college and the debt that I'm in that's following me and the bills I can't pay right now. But even though I have my regrets, I'm happy I did it because it does feel like an accomplishment to be the first person in my family to go to college. I feel like it was something that I had to do to feel like I gave back to my family for all that they sacrificed. Coming from a family of immigrants that literally came with a couple coins in their pocket and the clothes on their backs to get to this country and try to make it, and how much hardships that my family has endured, even to this day, with their financial struggles, just to provide for their bills, to provide for their family, and to do what they can to survive. I felt like I owed it to them to go to college, to make a better life for myself, for my future generations, but to do something in a way to give back to them, because I thought going to college would give me a career that makes so much money I could help pay them. I would, not that they helped me in college because they couldn't afford it. That's why I have all those debts. But to help pay their bills, because I don't want to see my parents struggle. My mom, she literally has been our caretakers our whole lives, as well as our pets, my father's as well. She cooks and cleans, but she also took care of her mother who had a stroke when she was in her 30s. So my mom's been her caretaker since she was 14. Now, when my grandmother died, it's absolutely devastated us all. And she was also taking care of her grandmother, who died back in 2017. And we lost a lot of my grandpa's siblings that were close to us along the way, which has been hard on all of us. My mom has been through a lot of depression because her whole life she was taking care of her own mother. And I know it affected me personally because my grandmother was like a second mom to me. And I was always with her too because we were always there because my mom was taking care of her. With that being said, my grandmother was also as independent as possible, even though she had a stroke and was partially paralyzed on her right side. She was able to do a lot. Like, she did cook for herself, she did clean for herself, but we just helped out where we could. Took her to doctor's appointments and shopping and wherever she needed. Spent time with her and enjoyed life together. So even though my mom doesn't talk about it, I know that she was depressed because I was depressed. There's no way that she wasn't. And my mom had never taken care of herself during this time. Sorry for my alarm. I wanted to do the podcast and I was like, by 10 o'clock, I need to do this. I know that she never spoke about it, but I just know that she had to have been going through the same thing as me in a different way. And she never took care of herself because she was taking care of everybody else. And for a long time, she didn't even take care of herself even more because of losing her mom. And it was hard too, because not only did we lose my grandmother, but my grandfather's girlfriend was pushing her way into our lives and doing it very disrespectfully. And it was hard because it's so much mix of emotions of losing someone and being pushed onto someone else during this time. And my grandpa never wanted to replace my grandmother, but his girlfriend hasn't made it easy, and she's made it really hard for all of us. And I feel like that's another story. But anyways, I tried my best to convince my mom to take care of herself. She had to get her thyroid removed. She had nodules that were growing into her chest because they were so big. And she's been needing to get a lumpectomy from like her breasts done. That was literally the size of the softball that was growing into her armpit for over 10 years. And we finally found the doctor to do that, thank God. She had a heart issue that was going on, but I mean, thank God, everything is fine. But it's taken so long to get her the help that she needed. She has back issues, partially maybe because of taking care of her mom, or maybe because of all the stuff that she's been doing. And I personally, I never want to see her work. Like, it literally kills me to see her work. And last year they moved to New York, and it's been a struggle because they're paying rent now. They put their old house up for rent, and the rent that they're making at their house in Florida isn't making enough to pay the rent here, even though we thought it would, like when we were trying to figure things out. Now they're behind on rent, and it kills me because, like, I wish I could be helping them. And my mom found a job when she first moved here, and then she got laid off because she basically worked herself out of a job. They needed her to file like paperwork, basically. And for my mom, it's been so hard to find her a job because of her age. And she's not old. And she's very smart and very intelligent. And she does so much. She never even like takes care of herself like all these years. Like, she'll cook and clean and pay the bills and run around the house and get everything done that someone wouldn't even do in like a whole week in a day. And then do it all over again the next day because she wants the house clean, the laundry done again. And it's like, bro, chill. Like, you don't need to do the laundry every day. But that's just her. And she's really a hard worker, but it's been so hard for her to get a job. And I help her apply to jobs, and I try to find something that is like more sedimentary because of her back and something that she can do. And she isn't like the best with technology, but she can pick things up and learn fast. So it's really hard because it's like, I don't want her to do something that's physically going to hurt her or mentally going to hurt her. I just want to protect her. And I know she's a grown woman and doesn't need my protection, but I just feel like after all that she's been through her whole life, like, she deserves a break. And like, stressing about finances every single week, like how we're going to make ends meet our whole lives, even to this day, is hard. And I know it's hard on her mentally and emotionally. And I just want to do something to help out. And that's one of the main reasons why, like, I need to make it. And there's so many times that I just want to give up because I'm like, man, I'm not good enough for this. Like, I'm not funny enough. Maybe I'm not happy enough. Maybe I'm not, I don't know, like maybe it's because I curse too much or I don't know. I don't know what the thing is. I just always feel like I'm just not good enough. And I'm tired of feeling that way because I feel like I know that I'm good enough. Like I know that. It just takes time, and I just know I can't give up because this is the only option I got. And even though I went to college and I got my bachelor's degree, it's not something I want to do with my life, nor is it something that will help me get out of this financial situation I'm in right now. But getting that degree, even though I went through so much in the past 10 years since I graduated high school, it means the world to me because the whole world was against me and it felt impossible to do that even for myself. And how many times I was depressed and suicidal because I was going to college and working full time and knowing how much debt I'm in and the bills I had to pay, and I was barely making it and trying to give whatever money to my parents that I could. Trying to save up money, and then I couldn't save up money because then I'd have another health issue, and then my car would break down and then I had to pay that. And then I want to take a vacation, and then I take a vacation and I regret it because I just wasted all that money I could have used on paying my bills. And then I'm like, we're not here to live and work and die. We're here to live and enjoy and work to get to enjoy. And I went through so much physically with my back. Like I didn't even know if I'd be able to walk, and I couldn't for some time. That it made me have like what's it called? Like a midlife crisis before a midlife, quarter life crisis, whatever. Because I'm just like, I didn't see the world. Like I didn't get to climb all the mountains I wanted to climb, and I can't give up. And God gave me the strength to get through it all. And through that, I was able to do a lot, and I've been able to travel a lot. I'm so blessed because looking back at a year ago today, I went to TwitchCon for the first time. I got my TwitchCon shirt on. Got this shirt at the Streamlabs counter. And that was something I never thought would be possible. I've been wanting to go to TwitchCon for a few years now, even before I was streaming, just because I thought it'd be cool to go. But also, I never thought I'd be able to go to like Rotterdam or Amsterdam. I really never thought that was something that was in my cards. And I remember sitting in a cafe, just bought some weed. We were in Amsterdam for just a couple days. We were going back and forth between Rotterdam and Amsterdam, exploring. We spent the day out exploring the city, smoking joints in the streets and getting food and whatever. And we were trying to find this one cafe that had the best weed and hot chocolate. And I just remember we finally got our weed and we sat down in this cafe and we're rolling a joint, and I was just like crying. Like I was like not sad, but I was just emotional because I could never see myself here. Like out of all the times in my whole life that I made plans for myself and I thought 10 years ahead, I never once thought I'd travel the world. And not that I have yet, but I've seen so much already. And I never thought I'd be in Amsterdam. And I was thinking to myself, I've healed my inner child so much from streaming in the past year, that at that time, that I never thought that 13, 14-year-old me would have even lived this long, because I was suicidal back then and self-harming. And I didn't think I'd make it even past 13 or even past 18. And if little stoner me could see me now and think in 10 years I'd be sitting in a cafe in Amsterdam smoking and hanging out with my boyfriend, I would never believe it if you told me that. I'd be like, yeah, right. You're crazy, because I was a Florida girl, poor Florida girl, still poor, but in New York. But I made a way to get there through sheer determination, and I made it, and I got there, and I just was filled with so much emotions. And I'm not saying it's like one of my biggest accomplishments in life, But I feel like as a human who didn't think they'd make it past a certain age and has been through so much, to just do something as simple as that, to be in a place, not that that was my dream destination or anything, just to do something so simple and just be like, yeah, I'm in a cafe smoking a joint in Amsterdam with my boyfriend chilling. And I also was excited because I just got cheese. If you know me, I love cheese. I got Gouda, which I love. And I spent like 30 minutes in a cheese store, and I went to multiple cheese stores after that just in case. And I like was so excited about it. Like I handpicked all these cheeses you could try, and I got this Gouda that was a little bit softer, and it had black truffles in it, which I never had before. Then I got like the standard Gouda aged like 2-year cheese. Amazing. And they had the free samples. I got to try all these different flavors, and I was so excited about it. And I was more excited about it because it was good price and it had a long shelf life. And I don't know, I just felt like the day was a dream. Like I felt like that whole entire day of exploring, like I felt not like I was disassociating, but it just didn't feel real. And like I just couldn't believe that I was there. And it just felt good. And even though this has nothing to do with TwitchCon, I was there for TwitchCon. So I went there like a week before TwitchCon just to like explore Amsterdam and Rotterdam as best as I could, and then had the TwitchCon weekend to end it and left like the day later after TwitchCon. So it was a great plan. And then I spent a week in Ireland after that. So it was an amazing trip and experience. On that trip, I also, in Ireland, I went down to the little beach, and I had this big hike that I had a panic attack through, and my boyfriend talked me through it the whole time because I felt like I was gonna fall off that cliff and not survive. And then when we got down to the beach, I was like, it's starting to rain and the water's rising. Are we gonna be able to get out, or are we gonna need to call a Coast Guard or a helicopter? And then looking back on that cliff, I was like, I've been disabled for so many years, and I didn't think I could even walk and then climb mountains and hike anymore. And here I am pushing through with torn meniscuses in both my knees, going on this hike through sheer determination. And I've went through so much mentally, physically, emotionally, and I feel like this Twitch journey is something I'm going through that I'm not giving up on either. Like I feel like as soon as someone tells me no, I'm gonna do it 10 times harder. Like I feel like my whole life, like I remember people like telling me growing up, you can't be a doctor, like you're not smart enough. And then I literally, that was when I was in elementary school. From middle school to high school, I've never missed a day of school unless I was severely sick. And I always had perfect attendance. And I had straight A's, AB honor roll, took honors classes, advanced classes, because I was like, when I go to college one day, they're going to look back on my middle school and high school records and see how good of a student I was. So I'll get into med school easy, top of my class. Which is ridiculous. But like nobody, like my mom was like anytime anyone would be like, oh, that they don't check that. Like, dude, my mom would be like, shh, just let her do her thing. Because I mean, think about it. If you're a mom and you hear your kid going turbotism mode and saying that they're never going to miss a day of school and get straight A's, like, why would you stop that? Like, and I just did it through sheer power and determination because everybody told me I couldn't be a doctor. Now, they told me I couldn't be a doctor because I wasn't smart enough, because I wasn't rich enough, because I didn't have like the right demographics, because it was competitive. I was like, who cares? So I'll do it. But the truth of the matter is it wasn't in my cards. And that's only because of 2 reasons. Actually 3. Number 1, God didn't want it to happen. And I know that because I couldn't afford it. And if I could afford it, it would have been because of God wanted it to happen. And on top of that was my back issue that held me back mentally, academically, emotionally, and financially. And throughout the past 10 years, I had some regrets thinking, you know, maybe I could have went back to medical school, and maybe it was just all in my head and all that. And I was looking into grants and scholarships. I saw NYU release a scholarship for people to go to college for free for med school. And NYU was my dream school when I was in high school. I never told anybody that, but I couldn't afford the application. And it devastated me because they didn't have like anything to subsidize that. And a lot of the colleges I applied for waived the application fee for financial status. But at the time, NYU did not. And I was like, well, if I can't afford my application, how can I afford college? And I thought, well, I could take out loans and stuff. But yeah, it's just something that would have never been possible, clearly. And anyways, in the past year, working at a hospital, I was in the care management department and literally dealing with people's lives. And even though I wasn't technically in the medical field, the work that I did could detrimentally kill somebody or help them. Like there was literally no in between. Putting people's information from their chart to a shadow chart after leaving the hospital and going to a facility that's a rehab. And for example, my colleague, let's say that this person went in there for dialysis. They had an issue with dialysis and then they come out and then whatever. Well, during this time, it was because they had a heart issue. They had the heart issue, did a procedure, and now they had wounds on their chest that needed to be treated and cleaned every day. But when you send over stuff in the shadow chart, it doesn't give you a full history. You have to like make the full history yourself. So if you don't, then they don't know the information. So now the thing is they're going to see, well, this patient came in there with issues with dialysis. Their dialysis levels are fine. And they're pretty healthy. They got good vitals, whatever. But they don't know that they had the heart procedure. They have a wound on their chest. Now a few weeks go by and they're back in the hospital and you're like, why? Why didn't, what's wrong with them? They have an infection. They don't know why. Guess what? Well, they had the wound on their chest that nobody cleaned that whole time because they didn't even know about it. And now this person's sick, could potentially be hurt, die, because someone in my job position didn't put that paperwork into that person's chart. Something so simple like that. Mind you, I feel like as an administrative assistant, that shouldn't even be our job title. That should have been on the nurses, because I know medical background because of me being like super obsessed with medical school. Like I was learning how to do sutures and stuff and learning everything I could learn about the heart and medical stuff just because I was pursuing that as a passion. I joined the fire department for a year to be a medic so I can be like hands-on in the field, because I was like, I want to make sure I can mentally and physically handle what's going on in a crazy situation. And I was like, I want to do this before I go to medical school because I need to know if I can do it, which I did, but it was just not my cards. And I knew all this medical stuff, so I would be going into someone's chart and putting through all the pieces, like puzzle pieces for them. And then some of the facilities would be calling like, why does Michaela put all this stuff into the charts, but the coworkers don't? And then my freaking coordinator would get mad and be like, oh, she puts over too much information. She doesn't need to send all that. And all the time I'd be fighting back and forth with my coordinator, coworkers, my supervisors about what should be going into a chart. And honestly, what I kept pushing for was full access. And they're like, well, it's HIPAA. But how can a medical facility be HIPAA if they're treating them as a patient? Even though it's not a hospital, you're going to a rehab nursing home, which has it's called a skilled nursing facility, which means that they have a doctor on staff and they had nurses that are certified to be taking care of these patients that are of the skilled level need, which means that they have information to the chart to know that their skill level can match that. And if they can't match that, they have to go to a different facility that has more medical equipment and more medical personnel. So how would they even know all that if you're not sending them the right information? Well, if they had all the information by just clicking like a link and say, here's the my chart and you have all access to here, you take it there. But guess what? They didn't have that. So we're clicking each document one by one that we think is important for them to know. And if they don't get that information, something bad could happen. Now, all the blame isn't on us because those facilities should be asking for a full chart too. They shouldn't just be like send us what you got, and then they don't ask for more and just assume that's all we got. But with that being said, it's like, it's a mutual thing. It's really a problem. So I had to deal with this from October to February, right? March, February to, okay, so till March. This whole time, I'm stressed out to the max. Chest pains, night terrors, anxiety attacks, panic attacks. I'm praying before work, during work, after work. God, give me help, give me strength, give me peace between my coworkers, peace with my job. Don't give me anything you can't handle. Besides doing the shadow church stuff, we're getting phone calls of people crying on the phone about their treatment that they're getting that's bad and not getting equipment at home that was supposed to be ordered from them. And I'm helping them, even though it's not our department, because I feel bad that they're not getting the help that they need. And every time that they try to call, they're not getting the help. Like, I had a funeral home call asking for a death certificate. I'm like, this is the care management department. You know, this is not our department, right? Yeah, but I've been calling around and we have to do the funeral. We've had the body here for 72 hours. Like, we're waiting on you guys and no one's getting back to me. Now, I feel horrible because this poor person can't even be laid to rest because our hospital isn't doing what they need to do to give the coroner the death certificate. Anyways, I found out insurance companies run hospitals. I knew it was a thing, but I didn't think it was that bad. Insurance companies are calling up the wazoo. When are these people leaving? Why are they still here? They only had a simple procedure. Why are they there for 14 days? They should have been out in 24 hours. They had an open heart surgery. They can leave the same day. They don't take any account into medical history or what's going on right now. And honestly, they don't need to know. And then they're pushing us to have the charts sent to them so their clinical team, nurse supervisors can review what the doctors are saying, who don't even know what's going on. Like, honestly, like, I know nurses are great and I know doctors are better. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. But if they were all the same, it wouldn't take 10 to 14 years to become a doctor and only 4 to 6 years to become a nurse or less, depending on when you graduated. Like, and that extra schooling prepares you for a lot more medically, and that's why they make the overall decisions. So why is an insurance company's nurse trying to argue with a doctor who just performed a surgery or is reviewing whatever's going on medically with a patient and wanting them to stay there and then saying, no, they got to leave or else we're not going to cover them? So then our department's like, shit, they're going to leave and our insurance is not covering them. Either they pay the bill or we pay the bill. So then we tell the people, you guys got to leave. If you don't leave, you're paying the bill. They're like, well, we can't pay the bill. We can't afford it. It's a lot of money. All right, send them to a rehab facility. They can get better there. So then they go to a rehab and they get worse. Why? Because they had like an infection that should have been like on an IV drip in a hospital under being monitored because they have all these other health issues and they can't do that in a skilled nursing facility, but they could do that in a hospital. But the system is flawed. It's disgusting. And it literally killed me inside. And I just knew I couldn't be a doctor. That was my closure. Gone forever. I was like, whatever regrets I had about college and wanting to be a doctor, wanting to be a surgeon, that was all clarified for me working this job. Now, even though I was not in a doctor's position, and I just worked for a medical team staff, I just know it's not meant for me, because if I had an insurance company telling me to get a patient out of the hospital and I was a doctor, I'd be giving them the finger and I would probably be fired, I think, for it, because the hospitals just care about what the insurance have to say. They don't care what doctors have to say. They'll get rid of you. Like, next, get another doctor in here. So it seems that all the things that I've had regrets in life about career-wise has given me closure. I've tormented myself with my past life, and I've asked God to show me my career path, and I'd ask God to open the doors of opportunity and close the ones that aren't meant to be. And one of those was TwitchCon this year, which kind of broke my heart a bit, but you know, I'm not going to argue with God on what he wants for me in my life. Everything happens for a reason. And I know that now. I'm tired of doing things against what he wants for me in my life, because it's been so hard to do that. My life has been so hard because I haven't been listening to him. So I'm just hoping it gets a bit easier now that I am. And it just it sucks because I think like I have all these good ideas, and then when I put it out there, it's like womp womp. So I'm just like, man, what are these good ideas good for? But I'm just like, maybe it's just an idea that's good for a later date or something. Maybe it's good for just Twitch, or maybe it's good for a clip, or maybe it'll be good for a future TikTok. I don't know. I feel like sometimes I have these like good ideas, and I'm like, these my ideas are yours, God. Like, I don't know if you gave them to me or just like in my own head, but I'm gonna try them out. But the number one idea that I think God gave me is this podcast that has been so difficult for me to do. Every time I need to do it, I feel dreaded. Like, I'm like, oh man, I need to take an hour out of my time to do this. What am I going to talk about? There's no point. Nobody watches this. Am I even helping people? Is this for me more than it is for others? But even if it is for me, it's helping me to talk through what I'm going through. Maybe this is just setting up a future for me, or maybe this is how my future will bloom because of viewership. I have to walk by faith, not by sight, you know? I just need to listen to God. And every single time I try to do this podcast, I'm distracted. I'm distracted by my home life, of the stuff I need to do, cooking, cleaning, work, my cats, like whatever, like my own stuff. Like I have to go to the doctors, or I want to stream and I just want to stream and I just want to make clips, and I don't have time to make clips, and I don't have time to do anything but stream. So then I stream, and then I regret not making clips and not doing the podcast. I don't know. I feel like I have to make a way to make time for everything. And it is so difficult for me. Like, ever since I quit my job, it's been more harder to figure out a schedule than it was when I had the job, because at least I knew, like, okay, these are the days I work, these are the days I'm off. When I'm off, I could do this. Now I'm like, yeah, I kind of have a set schedule, but I'm part-time. But the only difference is I'm barely making money. I'm barely paying my bills. I'm behind on a lot of bills. And now I have even more pressure than I ever have in my whole life to make it. So now I'm like, what can I do to make it? Or find another job, apply to a bunch of jobs, go on interviews, and I hear back that I'm not accepted. So I'm like, all right, it's not in God's will. I'm not going to be mad about it. It just is what it is. The only other thing I have, podcasting, Twitch streaming, content creation. Now, I may potentially have another job opportunity because I was talking to one of my coworkers at the rink who has a side business that she's trying to make a main business. And I'm hoping it works out because I don't have any other option right now to make money. And I texted my manager and I was like, hey, like, I know I'm temporarily covering this shift in the month of May for this guy who's out on a knee replacement surgery, but what is my shift going to be like in June? Because, bro, June is tomorrow. He said he'll let me know when I work on Tuesday. that audio. Like, that's how I feel. Like, and you know what? Everything that's happening right now is for a reason. Even though, like, I'm like stressed and anxious and worried about what's gonna happen, I just know that God's got this because everything's in his plan. And if it's not in his plan, it's gonna go according to plan, because I'm literally quit my job, not only because of the stress and how much it was killing me at the hospital, but because I just needed to stay still. Because I felt like my whole life I haven't stayed still. And every time I'm in a bad financial situation, I try to get a new job because the bad job is treating me, the last job is treating me bad and not paying me right or not giving me a raise. And I'm doing the work of 5 people as usual for getting paid for the work of 1 and underpaid and no breaks and whatever it is. And I get the next job and I get the next job. I'm not involving God in any part of my life. And every single job that I've got has not worked out and has not paid me well and has treated me badly. And right now, this ice rink job, I'm physically overworked, and sometimes it's chill and sometimes it's not. And nice to meet new people, but sometimes I'm like, man, like I can't keep like doing this because it's a lot on my body. And then I'm also like thankful because I could physically do this, because 1 year ago today, I was still disabled. Like, I physically could not lift 10 pounds. I couldn't be on my feet for like more than an hour. I couldn't even feel my face or my arm or my legs for most times. I had to be in physical therapy for the past, I don't know, 7 years to relearn how to walk multiple times. So I'm so blessed that and thankful for these miracles that have happened in my life because they've changed me as a person, changed me as a Christian, and it's helped me. Like, so I can't complain to where I'm at when I've had all these miracles happen in my life. And it's made me realize, I think that my streaming journey is just to help other people. When I started this streaming journey 3 years ago, I was like, I just want to do it to have fun. I game all the time with my friends, but we have funny moments and let's just put it out there. And I truly learned who my real friends were during that time because streaming really changed a lot of them. And I stopped being friends with all of them. Friends I had for almost 10 years gone because it seems like when you start to grow and have viewership and gain followers and your attention leaves just a little bit, people seem to change. And not that I neglected my friendships because I was still gaming with them all the time, but I felt like it made me open my eyes to see what I wanted. And meeting people on Twitch made me realize I don't want to play Fortnite every night. There's so much more games. And then I got a PC and then I got all these different games. And I realized, yeah, Fortnite is fun with friends, but like Elden Ring is amazing. Hogwarts Legacy is magical. Cyberpunk is sick. Like I wouldn't have never played any of those games on the PlayStation, even though they have that on there. And I bought like Cyberpunk and never played it on there. It's just, I never was able to play games by myself because my friends always guilt tripped me into making it seem like I had to play with them every night. And I did want to play with them every night. Don't get me wrong. But I also wanted to play with new friends and I wanted to make new friends and I wanted to play new games. And I was enjoying meeting new people on Twitch. And I didn't like how they were changing how they spoke to me. They would act like I was changing as a person because like I didn't want them, like I feel like they purposely said nasty things and then they were being mean to me like on stream because I was streaming. Then they started to like try to have a competition with me. And then they would try to go live and then they would get mad that I had more viewers than them or more followers and just say like, oh, you suck at gaming. Like, why do you have more followers? And then they would just be talking bad about me behind my back. And it was hurtful because like, it was never about that. Like I literally, like we lost the plot of the story. I started Twitch streaming to have fun and record funny moments with my friends. Because I was doing it anyways and we were having great times. But along the way, my friends changed, like how they viewed me, I guess, or how they viewed the situation. And it seems like jealousy got in the way of it. And after it going on for like over a year, I just cut them off because I can't have that negativity and being guilt tripped over it because of how they were acting. Like I never want any relationship in my life to be transactional. And I feel like it's so important to realize when your friendships are being I don't know how to say it, like I lost the word. Like you just gotta know who your real friends are. And even though we've been friends for a long time, it showed like who they really were as a person deep down, basically. And if I would have like, let's say, blown up like Queso during that time, I'm sure they would have talked even more shit about it. Like, you know, and even though it's not been an easy journey, I've lost friends and it hurts. It feels good knowing like who my real friends are right now. And I've grown so much as a person and as a streamer. And I've healed a lot of my inner child. And I'm happy with that. So I'm very blessed to be where I'm at right now. And 1 year ago today, we were at TwitchCon with big dreams of big dreams of making Twitch partner that still haven't faded. And I'm pretty determined to still get there. And I had a few people tell me along the way that it wasn't possible, that you're not going to get there. And my viewership doesn't add up to what Twitch partner is. And then I had people that were getting partnered back to back that were coming in my streams asking me for advice because they liked my streams and what I was doing. And I gave them advice and they took my advice and then they didn't give me credit for it. And I was like, dang, I really can't believe like you're taking part of what I do on my stream and talking about a streamer who's giving you advice and whatever, and then doing it and don't even get me credit for it. And that kind of hurt too, because I like, not that I need the credit, but it's just like, I'm not that type of person. Like, I'm just so, I don't know. I just try to be authentically me and I try to be genuine and I try to be a good person. If someone gives me advice and I remember who it is, and I'm just like, yo, thanks, bro, for the advice. Like, and I'll say their name. Not that I'm asking for a shout out or anything like that, but it's like crazy that you'll steal a part of someone else's stream and then put it in your own and just act like this was your idea. I know that's how Twitch works, you know, like I can't be mad and everybody's done something that's been the same at some point. But for me personally, every part of my stream is me. Like, I've never been like, oh yeah, like I saw someone do a hot sauce challenge, so I'm gonna do a hot sauce challenge. I never had those types of ideas. Like, I just been doing my own thing and my own ideas this whole time. So that's why it hurts me more when someone steals what they're like, what I'm doing, and then puts it in their stream and then doesn't give me credit for it. I don't know, but and then after talking to my boyfriend about it, like, I was like, you know, I guess if I look at it in a different perspective, that I'm doing something good enough for someone who got partnered to copy me. I guess that's good because I have good ideas, but it sucks that little people are always getting copied without any credit for it. Whatever. Yeah, but 1 year ago I was at TwitchCon. I expected to be on TwitchCon again this year, not financially, but because like in the beginning of the year, I applied for TwitchCon was doing like call for creators, call for content or something like that. So I was like, oh, I have great ideas. So I was like, yeah, like we could do like Beyblades, Beyblade battle, Beyblade meetup. We could stream it, whatever. Because like when I went to TwitchCon last year, they had like a Fortnite competition, a Minecraft competition. I guess this year they're doing Marvel Rivals and stuff. But I was thinking, yeah, like they had Dungeon and Dragons. They did like a whole Dungeon and Dragons thing. Like you can literally play like with them for hours. So I'm thinking, shoot, we could just have like a Beyblade thing. Like it doesn't have to be on the main stage. Like it just could be like an event, and then they would have given you free tickets. They said no, love. I prayed about it. I was like, open the doors and opportunities. Give me a sign. They literally instantly replied and said no. They said it was going to take like a month for them to get back with ideas. They immediately said no. And I was like, all right, I don't know what hurts me more, being like them saying no or them saying no immediately after me sending in their request. That's a hard no for me. Like, I didn't think it was that bad of an idea because like I feel like Beyblading is kind of like on an uprise right now, and I'm not going to take the credit for that, but I feel like it's an international global thing around the world, and I feel like anybody can be involved, and this was my argument. Like when I gave them the idea, I was like, look, it's literally for all genders, all disabilities, all people can be involved in Beyblading, standing up or sitting down. Mobility issues, if you have any developmental delays or anything like that disables you in any way, I feel like, yes, it may be hard, but it's not that hard of a thing. And I thought Beyblading would be inclusive for anybody, because if I bring the Beyblades, all they have to do is provide advertisement for it, you know. And I would have brought my Beyblades and just been like, hey guys, want a Beyblade battle? And you could have done like a tournament. Could have done like an all-day tournament or just a few hour tournament. Doesn't matter. People could bring their own Beyblades, and then they could be bringing their coolest Beyblades to the competition. You know, they could have like an announcer. There could have been so many options that they could have made the Beyblade competition, and I gave them all these ideas. But I got a immediate hard no. That was all God. That was not me. So he doesn't want that opportunity for me. And then I tried to apply to some things in Ireland because I was like, well, I have this trip planned in Ireland and I don't know if I should quit my job. That's basically what I was saying, like, to God. And I was like, if I quit the hospital job, like, I hope I get these opportunities. And that didn't work out, the stuff I applied for. So I was like, is this a sign from God I shouldn't quit my job and not go to Ireland? And, you know, I don't know if it was or not, but I just know I don't feel like I could have survived that job anymore. And even though I am struggling financially and so is my parents, I just know that God has a bigger plan for me, whatever that is. It's taken me a long time to get to where I am with my faith. Actually, it's taken me a lifetime. I've really just only become closer in my faith in the past 5 months, to be honest. I feel like my eyes have been opened a lot, and I'm very thankful and blessed to have this relationship with God that I do now. I feel like I may have not started streaming because of anything that was happening in my life, other than just wanting to have a good time. But I feel like now my streaming has a purpose. Like, and I know a lot of people stream just to stream in the game because they're the best at a game or whatever it may be. But I feel like my streaming and content creation has to have this meaning behind it. And that's my life, because I've been healed from my fish allergies, my red dye allergies, my fluorine allergies, everything that I had severe allergies that could make my throat close, I'm healed. And yes, he did that for me, but I feel like he did that for one of you to see this and say, wow, like, if that could happen to her, what can happen? What more can happen for me? All I need to do is pray and have faith and believe. That's what I think. Also, after not really talking about my healing journey at all since 2023, and then being healed with my back, I think that made me realize I need to talk about this, because I may have not listened to God and I just listened to other people and what doctors had to say, that it wasn't a miracle and it's just what happens sometimes. It's crazy spoof that your allergies could go away after all these years, even though they thought it was impossible. And I kind of was tired of listening to what everybody had to say, and I just wanted to listen to what God had to say, because all these times I listened to doctors, they told me it was impossible. And then when I was finally possible and I became healed, no one wanted to believe it happened through God. So I sometimes believed it, and I'm ashamed of that. And when I got healed of my back, there's no other way that it is possible other than through God, because I've been dealing with these back issues with a rare spinal disease, disability that literally no one can cure. There's not enough research, and my symptoms didn't match up with a diagnosis, and being temporarily paralyzed, partially paralyzed, and having to relearn how to walk, and all this stuff that I went through, and nerve pain and just struggling to live every single day. Like, I'm so grateful that I wake up every day without pain. And I never thought I'd live a life without pain. And I'm very blessed for that. And I thank God for that. I try to thank him every day. If I forget, I'm sorry. But I just feel like everybody has to know. And I feel like it didn't just happen for me. I feel like this also happened for you guys. Like somebody is out there right now struggling with something that they're not unsure that they can be healed, or they will get that financial thing, or they will get a job that will provide for them, or they will get out of a bad relationship, or their mom will be healed, or the relationship will be mended, or everything's going to work out. Their anxieties and depression will go away, like mine. That also went away too. But it's possible. All things are possible through God. And I'm not a preacher. I don't want to be a preacher, but I just feel like it's what I got to talk about, because why else would he do this for me besides to save me and to help me grow in my own faith? I feel like it has to help somebody too. And I know I've helped people. I had some people say that, you know, I've helped them. And just knowing that one person being helped makes me feel good. And I just hope that more people can hear my story and it can help them too. I feel like I'm in a tough place because every time like I'm like I just want to make it on Twitch and through content creation. Like I'd be so blessed if I had even half the amount of viewership and followers that Queso has. And I'm not even in the position to even ask for that, but I keep praying for it. You know, sometimes it's like I get mad when I see Twitch partners on the front page or whatever that I see, and they're making content, and it's just a big womp womp, and it makes me like wonder, how did they even get there? And then sometimes I look it up and it's like, oh well, that's because they were friends with this big streamer, and then that streamer gave them a platform, and then they became Twitch partner, and then a lot of Twitch is like that. Like you become a partner from piggybacking off of somebody else. Some people are funny. Some people have great gameplay. Some people just like enjoy their communities. I'm not saying that they're all bad. But then it's like, I just want to do good, and I want to have a good time, and I want to get paid and help my family and make the world a little bit of a better place. And I don't know how to get there other than this podcast and continuing streaming and not giving up, and just keep praying about it. I know this podcast is like all about me, but I guess that's just what this podcast is, guys. It's just me figuring out life, telling you about my life. Maybe my experiences will help you with your life. That's what I think this is. Anyways, it's hard because I've been in my head a lot, trying not to be discouraged. I feel like I don't know what God's telling me. Like, you know, every time I'm like, talk to me. I don't know what I should be doing. And it's weird because I felt like sometimes I feel like when I didn't have God in my life, I felt like I heard him more than now. And maybe it's because I have a closer relationship with him that he doesn't need to guide me as much as before when I was doing all the bad things that I shouldn't have been doing. I could be wrong with that, but I'm just assuming. But maybe I'm on the right path right now, and I just keep questioning it because I'm just trying to be realistic of what's going on. But nothing has been realistic when it comes to my healing. Nothing is logical about it. And I feel like that way, that's how I will gain my success, is just walking by faith and not by sight, trusting in God, and just continuing to do what I need to do to get there. So, girl, I ain't giving up, no matter how hard it is. It's just I have to figure out how to make it work between working and my schedule, and like I hope that this job opportunity works out too, if it's in God's will. Like because I don't think I'm going to have much of a job this summer. And if I don't have much of a job this summer, then I don't have money. And if I don't have money, well, I'm going to get into a lot of trouble with the government because I can't claim bankruptcy on my student loans. And I have $100,000 in student loans and over $10,000 in credit card debt, plus medical bills on top of that, as well as my like $300 car insurance and Wi-Fi and whatever. But I give it all up to God, and I don't want to stress about it, worry about it, or think about it, because I feel like it's not my job to do that. And that's where it all has went wrong in the past, where I just try to take things into my own hands and do stuff. And that's how I ended up in all these job positions that I didn't like and didn't work out. So I'm now praying for Twitch streaming to work out. And I felt like I believed it so much last year, and I was making it happen. Like I was hospitalized last year in January. That's where my back started getting healed. The original cyst pop in my neck. And then I was unemployed because I got fired from my job, and I was devastated. And I was trying to think of what I could have done wrong, and I found out I did nothing wrong. It's just that they're sexist, and they just didn't want to make me part-time, and they just didn't care. And that hurt me just as much as thinking that I did something wrong. And then I was blessed to be on unemployment so I can pursue streaming full-time, but streaming full-time was hard because I was going through physical therapy. Then I tore my meniscus in both my knees, and I was doing genetic testing and all these testing and going through stuff in my family and trying to pay my bills on unemployment, and stress after stress, and going to court because like they didn't want to give me food stamps because I made $10 more in unemployment that crossed the line of how much money I should make, even though I couldn't pay my bills. And my student loans were coming in and I couldn't pay it and all this stuff. And I was growing on Twitch more than ever. And I was like, wow, like I could be Twitch partner. Like went to TwitchCon, met some cool people, had fun. And I was like, we up from here, baby. And then my unemployment ran out, and I was hit with the reality of, well, I have to go back to work because this is it. And I gave up. Not entirely, but I just was like, well, we're going back to where it started. It was really humbling for me because I realized I don't want to work anymore. I just want to work for myself. I can't do this. Like, it was humbling because I realized how much I love doing this. I didn't really appreciate it as much as I did. Or I appreciated it, of course, but I never really appreciated my community as much as I did as the time that we spent together during the last year of me being like unemployed. So I gave up. I saw the reality of things, and I just prayed really hard to find jobs. And I think that's what my mistake was. I think that that mistake there was I just was walking by sight and not by faith. I saw the numbers, looked at the reality of me running out of money, and was like, well, gotta get back to work. And God can change things on the snap of a finger. Like, it can happen in an instant, not even just overnight, in a week, in a month, in a year. I mean, who knows if that's possible for me, but I just have to believe it is possible and it can happen. Just like I was healed multiple times. And all things are possible through him. So this time, I have sheer determination that I am going to stay still, and I'm just going to keep praying, and I'm not giving up to become Twitch partner and to grow and make monetization through Twitch and TikTok and YouTube and all that. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep praying, and I just know I will get there, even though I sometimes don't believe in myself on a daily basis, and I'm in my head and I feel a mix of emotions that I'm not good enough. It's hard to go through all of this all at once, but it's gonna be okay. I know it's gonna be okay because, man, I had it worse. I had it worse so many more times. Like I was homeless, and oh, that's going back to my grandpa's girlfriend. And I think I told you guys a story that I got kicked out because of her. And that was really hard because I was working 3 jobs, going to school full time, and I just came home late from work, and I had like, I think it was midterms or finals, and my grandpa's girlfriend was sitting on the couch and I was living on the couch, and I was like, hey, I have to go to sleep soon. And she was watching a movie and she's like, oh yeah, when my movie ends. And it was past midnight and the movie was still going on an hour later. And I was like, listen, like, I really need to go to sleep. Like, can you please just watch this upstairs? Because she has a TV in her own room. She has a TV in the kitchen, and I was sleeping in the living room. And she slammed everything. She like threw her drink in the sink so hard the glass almost broke, slammed the dishwasher, stomped up the stairs, slammed the door, started screaming at my grandpa, who was dead asleep, saying that I couldn't talk to her that way and tell her what to do, and that he needed to do something about that because it's disrespectful or whatever. And he woke up out of dead sleep, all pissed off and angry, and kicked me out of the house, which was the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life, because not only was I homeless and I was struggling financially, mentally, emotionally, I was already suicidal and depressed over there and dealing with that. And I was I think I was also in the fire department when this happened, actually. I was in the fire department on top of that. And yeah, I think I was coming back from the fire department, not a late night at work. I don't remember right now. But anyways, I slept in my car a couple nights and slept at my ex-boyfriend's house, and I slept at the firehouse, and then I moved in with my ex-boyfriend, which was really bad because he was abusive and so was his family, and it was better than living in my car. I was living out of my car, and it was rough. It was a really hard time. And what hurt me more out of all of the physical and mental struggles was just that my grandpa took her word over my own. His own granddaughter, his one of 3 grandchildren, who had already been living there for a year, he took her word over mine and didn't even give me a chance to explain what happened. And my aunt woke up and was like, what's all the screaming? And I'm crying. And I was like, you won't even give me a chance to explain myself. And he's like, just leave, get out. You can't speak to her that way. And my aunt is like, what's going on? And then I tried to explain what was happening to her. And she's like, well, this is my house too. You can't kick her out and whatever. But I left, and it took me about a year to get over me being upset with him. And what changed that was my back disability that happened. So if it wasn't for my back issues starting, I wouldn't have a relationship with my grandfather today, because my back issues started right after that. And I was living with my ex-boyfriend and I couldn't even get out of bed. My mom flew up from Florida to take care of me, and no one knew what was going on. I was going through all this testing for months. And we mended our relationship. I'm living with him again. That's what's hard, dude. Like this is like, I'm blessed to have my grandfather here, even though I don't have my grandmother here. But it's hard because, like, my grandmother was such a kind person, caring, loving, and his girlfriend is so nasty to him. She takes his money. She treats him like shit. She doesn't help out. She's a slob. She's nasty, disrespectful to us, especially my mom, which his only kid is, he only has 1 child. She purposely takes him away from the family when we have family events. She always makes plans with her friends to go out of town and stuff. Every holiday, she takes him away. And like, I wouldn't even be like upset, like, you know, if he had a girlfriend that cared about him genuinely, loved him genuinely, took care of him. Not saying she has to do the cooking and the cleaning because he always cooks. She doesn't even clean. She just sits on the couch all day watching TV, eating snacks, doing nothing, taking his money and treating him like shit. And she'll be like, "Oh, go get me water. Go get me this, go get me that." And she's just lazy sitting on the couch. And he has a back issue. He's disabled and he has a big heart and will just do whatever. And like, I don't know, it's insane because like my grandmother, who had one arm because she was paralyzed partially and walked with a cane and walked with braces on her legs, she cooked for herself, she cleaned for herself, she was never lazy, and she was a kind person. And then he goes and has the opposite. I gotta deal with that every day on top of what I'm going through. But like, I'm blessed to have him here. I'm blessed to live here because I have a place to stay, to save money. And not that I'm saving money, but you know, I don't have to pay rent. I'm paying, like, I help them out by buying food and stuff. And wherever I can, like, I'll be cleaning the house and taking care of my aunt. But it's hard because like I wish, I've forgiven my grandpa, but I wish more for him. Like I wish he would open his eyes, and I pray that too, like, because he doesn't deserve to be treated like shit by anybody. And he's a good guy deep down, but like, she's changed him so much. Like, him kicking me out was like so shocking. Like, and you know, it made a big hardship in the relationship my mom had with him too, because like why would he do that? And he knew what he did was wrong, and he kept trying to apologize, and I personally like didn't want to accept that for a lot of reasons, because I was hurt that it happened and it was a heat of the moment thing. But I just feel like the fact of the matter is like he believed her over me in that moment without even letting me get a say. Just showed me like how much he's changed, and I just was heartbroken by it, which made my life harder and our relationship bad for a long time. So if I would have gotten over that sooner, it would have been better. But everything happens for a reason. But anyways, life isn't easy. My life isn't easy. But I hope it gets better. And like I just want to help my family, man. Like, I want to help myself. I want to help my family. I want to do stuff for God. Like, I'll do so much good with this money. Like, if I had money like peso, for example, or kaisanat, like I wouldn't be doing stupid stuff. It's not that they do, but like, I feel like I wouldn't mess up that opportunity, you know? So I just hope that I can get there one day somehow. Anyways, with all the stuff that I went through and how hard it's been, I know like it's happened for a reason. And all those things that have happened in my life in the last 10 years that have pushed me away from God has now drawn me closer to him. And maybe some things didn't have to be so hard if I had a relationship with him. I think that's the only regret I have now, is like not having a relationship with God sooner, because I probably wouldn't have gone through all that stuff if I did. Maybe I would have, but it just wouldn't have been so difficult to go through, feeling like I was alone. But I'm here today. I'm alive. I'm healthy. I'm healed. I'm happy, believe it or not. Like, I'm happy because I'm pursuing a dream that my parents don't even think is real. Pursuing a dream that could change our lives forever. and I'm doing something that, I don't know, it feels like it's life-changing. So yeah, I can't give up now, but I do need to try harder. I feel like I'm working 7 days a week, and then sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough. So I just have to prioritize what I need to do more. I know I've been lacking on making clips for this podcast. I think that's the number one thing that irks me. Because I know like clips is how viewership happens with everything nowadays. It's just sometimes when I watch back the podcast to make clips, it just hurts me because I'm feeling all the feelings I'm feeling right now. Like when I'm telling these stories, I feel like I'm over it. And then as the words are coming out of my mouth, I'm getting emotional. And I don't think I'm getting emotional because I'm not over what I went through. It's just I'm reliving those moments as I'm saying them and feeling the feelings I felt then. So it's hard to sit down for a few hours to go through and make clips and post them because it's not easy stuff. And it's not something typical that you would see of a clip. Like, why would you post something like that? But I'm pretty much sharing my deepest feelings, and I've always wanted to be honest with my viewers. So whatever helps somebody, that's all that matters. So I'll do better to put myself out there for you all and for myself. All right, guys. That's all for me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a blessed day and a great day. Tell somebody you love them. Do something good for someone else. And donate to a charity if you can. Donate to a nonprofit organization that you believe in. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.